I feel like in review courses, there's a lot of information. So that's when I kind of started doing some self research, that how do I get these bite-sized type of notes or something, some resource that I can do, like, use on the go. Like, it's not always possible sometimes to sit and study. Sometimes you're on vacation, sometimes you're doing something else, you're not available, or you're traveling. So that's when, so I started doing some research and I came across Superfast CPA.
Welcome to another episode of the CPA Exam Experience Podcast from SuperfastCPA. I'm Logan, and in today's episode, you're going to hear me talking with Shailja. Now, Shailja is from India, and I was able to talk to her when it was evening for her and morning for me, crazy that time difference. And she had a lot of great tips. She had a great story, and I'm excited for you to hear it. Something that she talked about a lot was the struggle with her mentality when she was going through these exams. She had tried to get the equivalent of the CPA in India, but the requirements are pretty intense there, and it takes a lot of time, more than just taking some exams, and she really struggled with that. So when she decided to go for the CPA, she had a lot of mental struggles where she felt like there was no way that she was going to be able to do it, and she really was her own worst enemy for some of the process because she just kept telling herself she couldn't do it. But you'll hear throughout this interview how she was able to overcome those thoughts and pass her exams. She did really well. If I'm not wrong, she passed all of them first try. Again, she was able to overcome her mind telling her, you can't do this. There's no way you can do this. You weren't able to do the equivalent in India, so why would you think you're able to do the CPA? And again, she was able to overcome that. So I think this will be a great episode for overcoming the mental struggles that come along with doing the CPA, which I think most of us have experienced or are experiencing. So make sure you listen throughout the whole episode to hear all of her comments and all of her advice. Now, before we dive into the episode, I just want to give another reminder about our Superfast CPA training webinar on superfastcpa.com. Again, that is a 1-hour free webinar where we will teach you the key ingredients to passing the CPA exam so you don't waste months or even years of your time failing exams. And after you watch that, you're going to want to learn more, so make sure you also check out becoming a Superfast CPA Pro member, because Pro members get access to a lot of great stuff, including the Pro course, where we go very in-depth on how you're supposed to pass the CPA exams. And we also have multiple choice question walkthrough videos where we walk through multiple choice questions for almost every topic in FAR, almost every topic in audit, a lot of topics in Reg and TCP and BAR as well, so that you can get a little bit of extra help and a little bit of extra understanding by watching those. So make sure you check out becoming a Superfast CPA Pro member, check out the webinar. Now with all that out of the way, let's dive into the interview with Shailja. All right, well, thank you for getting on the call with me, I guess tonight for you, Shailja. It's Shelly, or whichever you prefer. And I'm excited to talk to you about your CPA journey and everything. So let's just dive in. So you're calling in from India tonight, is that right?
Yeah. Namaste.
Awesome. Nice. And yeah, let's just kind of dive into your process, your journey. So where were you in your career or studying when you wanted to start the CPA?
So I had already finished my graduation, and I had also done the equivalent of CPA in India, which is called Chartered Accountancy. So, and I've also worked with PricewaterhouseCoopers. So I was working in the statutory audit division there. So, but then, at that point of time, I was like a trainee. So we have to do 3 years of training under a chartered accountant in India to qualify, to get it's like a CPA, but of India. So then what happened with me personally was I did that. I was working in PricewaterhouseCoopers. I also worked in a mid-sized firm in India where I used to do like accounting, filing, tax returns. I mean, in India, like individual tax returns, corporate tax returns, all of that. So then that's when I realized that, okay, I'm more interested in tax and this is what I want to do. So then what happened with me personally was I reached my final level. So here we have 3 levels: entrance, intermediate, and final. So after intermediate, you have 3 years of training. That's the process. So what happened in my finals is I gave it thrice. I couldn't clear it. Then I went into like this period of depression and kind of didn't want to try anything. And I thought that let me pause on this for now. Then after that, I got to know about CPA and I started pursuing CPA. And yeah, now it's done and dusted. So I'm really grateful. I'm relieved more than anything. And
Yeah.
that was my journey. So long term, even now, I know that like my interest is tax because I just find it interesting and I want to work in that. So that's my background. And
Mhm.
right now, after finishing CPA, I've been putting my resume out, giving interviews, connecting with people. So I'm like right now looking for work because I wanted to do my CPA, get qualified, and upgrade myself, and then look for something better. So this is what's going on with me right now. So yeah, that's my story.
So, so you, just to make sure I'm understanding you there. So you were kind of trying for the chartered accountant in India, but then decided that you were more interested in tax. So you decided to do the CPA instead. And does that mean that you're doing tax work for the US, or are you doing tax work in like for India residents? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I have work experience with India tax, but I also like I got exposed to US tax while studying for CPA, so I found that also
Mm.
interesting. So I'm open. I'm not, at this stage of career having a lot of specifications. To be very honest, I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I need to learn the work and
Mm-hmm.
make connections and build a network right now. But long term, that's my interest. Like I
Okay.
find it more interesting. So that's also, I feel like if you work in audit, it helps a lot with the CPA audit exam. That's not to say that if you haven't done it that you won't pass, but or you can't pass, but it's just it helps a bit. So I think that helped me personally for when I was preparing for CPA. So that's my journey, my story.
So, and I actually kind of want to ask how you started with studying. So, when you decided you wanted to study for the CPA, how did you start? Did you purchase a review course? Like, how did that look?
So I don't know if you can decide whether you want to keep this on the podcast or not. My story is a little funny in the sense that it was a YouTube targeted ad, and I was just like scrolling, and they're like, okay, do CPA and whatever. It's like US CPA and all that, and I was like, okay, let's try. And it was my review provider is the name is Miles Education. They're based in India
Miles.
and
Okay.
UAE, and also they have presence in US. So I joined Miles, and the thing is, then I kind of attended their webinars, got interested, got to know how many exams are there, what do we need to do, and then from there the journey started. So that's what happened.
Okay. Okay. And so you found Miles, and what, like, how did it go at the beginning with just using Miles? Like, how did studying feel, and how did the exams go?
So I felt that though Miles was good, I feel like in review courses there's a lot of information. So that's when I kind of started doing some self research that how do I get these bite sized type of notes or something, some resource that I can do, like use on the go. Like it's not always possible sometimes to sit and study. Sometimes you're on vacation, sometimes you're doing something else, you're not available, or you're traveling. So that's when so I started doing some research. I came across CPA, and purchased the pro course. And then I used the quizzes, the mini quizzes, through all four subjects. I would say that till you become a CPA, like breathe, eat, sleep, these things. Like even like before sleeping half an hour. Like what Nate said in the pro course videos, like you spend 3 hours. One more thing that I did, sorry, I have a lot of information, but one more thing that I did was
It's
when I
okay.
decided I want to become a CPA, the first thing I did was I'm leaving social media. I uninstalled Instagram, Facebook. The only thing I kept was YouTube, and LinkedIn I used to see sometimes, but not too much, just like professionally. So that's the first thing I did. I uninstalled and I downloaded the Superfast CPA app. I've used the mini quizzes. First, when I started my preparation, every subject, I'd be like, okay, I'm getting 60, 70 on average. Then when I felt like, yeah, I'm getting closer to giving the exam, go to 80, 90. That's when I was like, yeah, I'm getting a lot of things in the mini quizzes right. I think now I'm good to go. Second thing, I really like the audio notes a lot. Like I would listen to it. If I'm not able to study, like put earphones, you're going on a drive, you're traveling, whatever. listen to the audio notes. It's about being in touch with the subject. Like I would say, don't even leave 1 week, 2 weeks where it's like, I'm so busy, I can't, like just be in touch with it somehow. Like the mini quizzes, you can just do it in 5 minutes. So I think mini quizzes and the audio notes, these two things were very helpful for me. Also, the notes are there, but I personally did not honestly use that. Mini quizzes and audio notes, I really used a lot.
Okay. So so you got miles and you're kind of like, how can I get this more in like small pieces throughout my day? So you researched, found super fast CPA, and so you bought so you must have bought the total bundle because you had the pro course and the study materials as well.
Yeah.
And what so you said that the audio notes and the mini quizzes were like your big thing that you used. Was that like a selling point, or was that something that interested you when you found Superfast CPA? Like, is that a part of the reason why you bought it?
Yes, because what happens in review courses is that you need to have like a laptop, a calculator, a book, pen, paper. You need to like your need to be very present. Whereas when I look at
Mm-hmm.
mini quizzes or audio notes, I can just listen to it or do it, and something else is going on. So I'm always in touch with it. So I think
Right.
that in Superfast CPA, that's something that I use that helped me a lot, because sometimes what happens is when you think about, oh, I need to study 1 hour, like practically life gets in the way, it doesn't happen. Here, you're not thinking like that. It's like throughout the day, like even like, if you're taking a break from work, just open the mini quiz, do one quiz. Okay, I do like a quiz and I'd be like, oh, I got 60 today. Then after kept doing, then it's like, okay, now I've been studying for maybe 1 month more. Now I'm getting 80. So it's I think these two things are what I used, and the audio notes are very helpful. Like instead of listening to music while you're traveling to work, you can use the audio notes and keep listening to. Suppose you're in audit, you're not getting management assertions, just an example. You go to that topic in the audio notes, you listen to it, and then it's also very simplified. So I like that. So I can hear it, and then it's also a different way to look at things. Sometimes the review course is very theoretical, or it's very by the book, and you need somebody to kind of break down things for you. So I feel that way the audio notes help a lot. And the
Mm-hmm.
quizzes are so easy that you don't even need a calculator, but it's also
Mm-hmm.
testing you on what's relevant. So I think these things are very helpful. Like these are really good additional tools that help a lot when you're preparing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and that's the hope. I love that you said that because that's the whole reason that that we make the mini quiz, the audio notes, the review notes, is so that you have that ability to get additional studying in that's actually still useful without having
Hmm.
to sit in front of a computer, like you were saying. Uh, and how just curious, how much of that were you able to fit into your day? Like, were you listening to the audio notes as much as you possibly could? How many mini quizzes were you fitting in the day? Like, how much would you guess that you had?
There are days when I do like two, three quizzes, then there'd be days when I do like 10 quizzes. So it depends on how much time. That's
Mm-hmm.
the thing. It's not uh, like like a very set thing. It's on your routine, it's on your timing, and that's what I like about it. That is what something is not available in review courses. So it you, and you don't have to, like, you do the, suppose you do the mini quiz, then you're starting, then you're like, look, I've prepared a little better. I'm now feeling more comfortable with maybe FAR, something, bonds, leases, or whatever, any topic. So let me try to do a mini quiz now. Now it's like, okay, now I started getting 90. So it, and also I realized that in the mini quizzes, there's sometimes additional information which is not there in the review course. And I feel like in CPA, there's a blueprint, but it's
Mm-hmm.
different from a college exam or any other professional exam, that it's like they basically can ask you anything. So it's relevant, but it's still not out of syllabus. So that way I feel
Mm-hmm.
like there were few additional information which, it's like a, you go in the exam, they're testing your knowledge of, you've been studying this much time. So I feel like that gives you good additional information also. Like I felt like in theory subjects like in audit, or when I gave it was BEC, now it's bar, but that there was some additional information also which I felt was helpful.
Right.
Yeah.
And the yeah, that's kind of like the idea is that we try to make them into something that, is just around the blueprint topics, because that's they can be a little bit vague, the blueprint
Hmm.
topics. So like, trying to do a whole bunch of different quizzes and questions around those subjects. Um, and maybe it's been a little while since when did you finish? Because I think it's been a little bit since you finished studying. Is that right?
I passed in June, so I gave reg in
In
May. I
June.
got my
Okay.
results in June. I gave far before that. BEC I gave in 2023 and then audit, so that's how it is. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, like a year and a half or something like that, overall. And when you very first started, was there very much time where you were studying with just Miles? Were you studying in the evenings, in the mornings? How did that look before you got super fast CPA?
So I would say that I know there's a lot of debate, should I study in the morning or evening? My advice, study when you're going to be at your best. If you study best
Mm,
at night, do it at night. If you study best, for me, I like doing in the morning. So for me, I would say that it depends on your routine and your circumstances and what you retain best. And I would say that for me, one thing that happened when I really use this a lot. This tool, mentoring, is very important. I can't stress it enough because it's not like college where you go to class and you meet people, you make friends. It's I don't have a better word, but it can get a little lonely. So
mm-hmm.
uh, like even if you attend, like I attended classes online, but I didn't make those bonds because at the end of the day, it was a Zoom call. So they don't know what I look like, or we didn't even have our video on. So it can get lonely. So I would say mentoring is a very important tool that I use. I connected with a lot of people who are CPAs, and it makes you think that what do you want to do after you become a CPA? Do you want to do your own practice, get into public accounting? Do you want to join industry? Do you want to get into academics? Like you can do anything. That's the thing. Once you become a CPA, the doors are open for you. So it's important to connect with a lot of people. And to your question, I would say that the one thing that I did different after getting super fast CPA is when Nate said that, we should go back and use flashcards or
Mm,
do re-review. I used to do the whole subject and then come back and do it again. I changed that approach after looking at the pro course videos. I realized that I should kind of focus on what are they testing, what's important,
mm-hmm.
get your, like, conceptually get your concepts right. Just doing the whole, that's what a lot of people do. They just do the whole portion, and this is the review course. The review course gives you so much information. So I don't think that's a good way to go about it. And also one more thing that Nate said in the video is make your own notes. Like I really liked one thing that he said, that write things in your own words. Like suppose I'll tell you one thing in, I don't know if it's there anymore, but there is costing in bar subject, BAR. So
Cost accounting.
what,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, so process costing or like activity based costing. Now write it in your own words. How do you distinguish between absorption method, variable costing, how to go from one to the other, or tax income to book income? What is the difference? Like the books are very theoretical. You need to get to a level where it's like, okay, now I can teach you, or I know that much that I understand it, I can teach you. So I think what Nate said in his video, writing, making notes in your own words, not everything, but very, very important or very short notes, like you write down and then you come back to it later and it's like, oh yeah, I get this because it's what I've written, it's my understanding, it's my words. The books are very theoretical. So I think that, so there were a lot of good things in the pro course videos that I took away and I used, like these tips.
Right. So you basically are something that we really liked from it was that he talked about, making flashcards and writing things down in your own words. And what difference did you see in your studying when you started doing that compared to when you weren't doing that? Did you feel like your understanding improved a lot?
Yes, and also, like I feel like conceptually it makes you stronger because you're not just seeing something from a book and then just That's what they test you in the exam. They test how much you know. They test whether you understand it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think making flashcards, and I didn't do that before seeing the pro course video. I didn't make notes for, like, after seeing him say that, okay, you should, kind of make notes and write in your own words. That's the exact term he used that stayed with me, and I started doing that. So
Yeah.
not just doing the book or the review course, but yeah, like really digging deep into it.
And is there anything else from the pro course that really stuck out to you when you were watching it? You talked about studying in the mornings. Were you studying in the mornings before you watched the pro course?
Yes, because I like mornings. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like my brain is fresh, and
Right.
I can, like, understand and absorb. But there are a lot of people who like studying in the night. So I'm not hell bent on morning or night. I think, like, some people go early to work. They don't have time in the morning. Maybe they come home early from work in the evening, and the evening is when they get time. So I would say, and also I would say one more thing, that like the mini quizzes and the audio notes help you in the senses. You don't need to take out 1 hour to study. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can do 15 minutes mini quizzes. You can do audio notes.
Mhm.
Uh, Go through your flashcards. So these things are helpful. So it makes it manageable to study every day consistently.
All right. Yeah. Sorry about that. We lost connection there. So now we're trying this on Zoom. Thanks for your patience. Uh, so I'll just kind of say what I was saying before. Like with studying in the morning, we typically want people to study in the morning just because, people are busy, they're tired from work from the day and stuff like that. So it's more likely that people will get their studying done if they study in the morning. But, you know, like you were saying, whatever works, as long as you actually get the studying done and you feel like it's working and you're passing exams, that's what we that's what we care about in the end. Um, so you were studying in the morning from the start because that was just you just knew that that worked best for you. Uh, and from there, so you study in the mornings, you loved the audio notes, you loved the mini quizzes. And how did your exams go? Did you pass them all first try? Did you have any struggles? What was that like?
So I passed them in the first try, but for me personally, what I was overwhelmed with the most was FAR, because of the volume of the portion. And the thing is, I was not that familiar with US GAAP. I
Mm-hmm.
found tax to be manageable, but US GAAP was completely new. What I had exposure to was more of IFRS, because that's what's used in
Right.
India. So it was completely new for me. Right now, it's like India is still, most of the accounting standards have become similar, but yeah, I had to brush up. So I would say with FAR, the thing is, it's doable. The volume is what is overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in that, mentoring helps, practicing helps. And I would personally, I know people may think this is overdoing it, but I would say in every subject, try to do the portion 3 times at least. And I
Mm-hmm.
would suggest, I know that in the pro course videos, it's advised that, it's practice exam. If you want to do it, okay. But
Mm-hmm.
if you don't, it's up to you. But I would strongly recommend mock test, practice exam, because it helps you in time management, especially with
Right.
subjects like FAR, where you get simulations. Like in the exam, the exhibits, like there are like 9, 10 exhibits almost every sim. So sometimes it's overwhelming. It's not like you don't know it, but when you go in the exam and you see it, you're like, oh, there's so much information. Like, where
Mm-hmm.
do I start? That's what happens. And everything is new. So, like, I think if the practice exam, mock test, these help a lot to help you manage your time. Like, you get this mental roadmap. Okay, I should do my MCQs in 1 hour. Some subjects you would feel that I need more time in MCQs. Some subjects you feel I need more time in simulations. So you can, make it according to your pace, what's your strength. So you can
Mm-hmm.
personalize it. So I really recommend doing mock exam. I did like 3 mock tests every subject, and if there were 2 practice exam in my review course, I did those. Practice exam in our review course was new questions, and mock tests were from the review course. So go first, I would say, practice with questions you've already seen. Then try practice exam, which is new questions. You should try to do both before the exam. That would be my
Mm-hmm.
advice.
Yeah, the practice exams can be really helpful in that sense because a lot of times they have different questions than what you've been seeing throughout your review course. So it
Yeah.
is extra practice. A lot of times we leave it up to people because, we have re-review built into the day. So hopefully you've been
Mm-hmm.
doing a lot of that, practicing a lot of that time management throughout the process. But it is good to have that, like, if you want to practice that 4 hour feeling, it can definitely help you be prepared
Mm-hmm.
for the exam. And when you got into the exam, I mean, you've passed all of them first try, so you were obviously prepared, but did you feel prepared? Did you feel nervous going into the exams?
So for me personally now, I coming to what challenges I had. So I'll tell you honestly, when I started doing CPA, for me, it was more of a mental challenge in the sense that I had some negativity in my mind that I
Mm,
couldn't finish the Indian equivalent of CPA. So somewhere in my mind, I felt like maybe I'm not good enough. And I was on this high, like, okay, I'm working in Big Four. I thought my career will go somewhere else. It didn't happen for whatever reason. Not that I didn't try, it just didn't happen. So uh, for me, I had some negativity in my mind. So
hmm
in I used to like look at my mind 75% would be negative thoughts, especially with FAR. I would get over and be like, do you think you're going to do this? You're not going to. These are my thoughts in my mind. You're not going to pass. You failed before. It's going to happen again. It's the same thing again. At this time, I remember Nate said that make a document, and in that
hmm
document, write down where do you see yourself in 5 years? What happens if I pass CPA? What happens if I don't pass CPA?
hmm
He gave us this document, and it was like a blueprint. And I wrote down in that and I kept that on my desktop and I used to look at it. What happens if I pass CPA? What happens if I don't pass? So then I started trying to focus on that 25% positive in my mind, that small voice in my mind, which would be like, what if I pass? So
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I passed in the first attempt was I had a fear of failing, to be very honest with you.
hmm
I had this, I would do the portion 3 times. I do mini mocks practice exam. Like in FAR, my mentor was like, you're over preparing now. Please go and give the exam. Like that was my
Yeah.
situation. So I think that document also, like these, it's also a mental and emotional thing and being consistent, being patient. It's not just, oh, you study, go and give it. No, it's different from college. Like I told you before, you're on your own. Like
hmm
mentors help, yes, but it's not like you're meeting a professor every day. It's
hmm
not like you're meeting your college friends every day. You're mostly on your own. So, like it's different. I would say it's different from college. Like because I have also done my graduation from like a college. So I know the college experience versus CPA or professional exam experience. So I would say that that document that Nate told me to keep, I used to look at it. I used to, whenever I would feel low, I would be like, oh, why am I doing CPA? And I would say
hmm
find what Nate said in the video, find a personal reason, which is there are very generic reasons. I want money, I want career growth.
hmm
Everybody wants money. Like, what's your personal reason, which is beyond money, which is beyond career growth? Like, I want to give a good life to my family.
hmm
Or for me, it was I want to prove to myself that I can do this, that I can pass.
hmm
I'm capable of this. I have potential. So
Right.
or sometimes people are like, yeah, I have a young son or daughter at home. I want to provide for them. I want to give them a better life. Like very, very personal. Where does that money take you? So I think that apart from the mini quizzes and the audio notes, I think, and also the Nate telling me that, you should make flashcards, make your own notes. I think that document, it's not always looking at the documents, like keeping it in your mind, because when there will be hurdles, you'll think, I need to give up. A lot of people give up in the mental game. It's not about
hmm
always studying. It's also like mentally making yourself strong or talking to, like a lot of people don't understand your mind plays games with you. Your mind doesn't want to exert. It's coming like you're coming from work, it's tired. It's like I'm you're happy where you are or you're comfortable where you are. So you don't want to push yourself.
Right.
So you have to push your mind, and your mind sometimes this happened to me. I know it's very it may be case to case basis, but this happened. My mind would a lot of times look at difficult concepts and give up. Like, yeah, you failed before,
hmm
you're going to fail again. Then I would look at like what Nate said, that think of a reason that is beyond money, that's very personal. You don't need to tell anyone that reason. Keep it in your mind and come back to that reason when you have hurdles or when you feel like or when you fail, I think when people fail, there's you sometimes you get negative. A lot of people give up. They're like, it's taking too much time. What's the point? Is it really even
Hmm.
going to help my career? Like, especially people who are managers already middle level. Like, I think a lot of people start questioning, is this even worth it? Is it worth the
Right.
effort?
Yeah. I,
So, yeah.
I definitely agree with that. And it's almost, it's kind of crazy how much of this process is actually a mental game, kind of like you were saying,
Yeah.
that, you know, we talk about the strategies, we talk about the best ways to study and things like that. But in the end, you have to be the one to be able to push yourself through the whole process, you know? And I actually talk to people all the time. We have our coaching program. I tell people all the time to to remember to fill out that motivation sheet, just like you were talking about.
Hmm.
I found the motivation sheet super helpful for me because I just like you did, I wrote down a lot of reasons that had nothing to do with money. One
Hmm.
of the big reasons that I wanted to finish the CPA exam once I started was I knew that if I started it and quit, that that would kind of set a precedent for me for other things in my life. It would say I
Hmm.
would be more likely to quit some other thing that I wanted to do in the future. Whereas if I pass the CPA exam, had that confidence, like, I've done that. I can do this, whatever this other thing is as well.
Hmm.
And I added to mine as time went on. I don't know if you did that as well, but like I made it originally,
Hmm.
but then as time went on, I
Hmm.
would write additional things that were motivating to me. So I love that you talked about that. Was there anything
Yeah.
that you'd be willing to share? And if not, that's okay. But is there anything on your personal motivation sheet that you can think of that you would want to share?
Yeah, for me, I would say it's about the principle of deciding to start something and finishing it.
Hmm.
It's like it's your self principle. Like it's the money will come. I mean, yes, money, career growth, like that is a very general reason. That's not what's gonna take you to the finish line when you feel like I want to give up or this is too
Hmm.
hard. And this happens a lot. I would say FAR is like the most challenging for most people. And for
Hmm.
me personally, exam experience wise, I also think FAR was the most difficult exam for me, considering the volume, the exhibits, and I think it's certified public accountant. It's there in the name. So accounting is going to be at I personally feel like it's at a little bit higher level. So I would say yes, the principle of starting and finishing something, realizing your own potential and capabilities. That was also there on my sheet. So
Yeah,
you don't know what you can do till you do it. Yeah.
right. Yeah, and the only way you hear people say this all the time, and it might sound a little cliche, but the only way you can truly fail the CPA exam is if you stop trying. So as
Mm,
long as you are willing to keep trying and keep doing exams until you pass,
mm,
then you'll eventually pass. And so with you've had a lot of great tips, about the audio notes, the mini quizzes, about motivation. One thing that I know a lot of people like me to ask about is the Sims. What was your experience
mhm.
with the Sims? How did you study those? What was working for you?
Yeah. So initially, when I started, before looking at the pro course, when I started, I used to just, like I told you, just go through the review course, do the
Hmm.
portion once again, then second time. I felt like I was going nowhere. I was like drowning in a sea of material. So what happened is this was a tip given by one of the mentors who I'm still in touch with. So he was a mentor in Miles. So anyway, what he told me is make an Excel sheet. In that, you make a few columns, serial number, the write the ID of the simulation, which is in your review course, so you can
Hmm.
come back to it later. How much you scored, like suppose some sims you got 30, 40, 80, whatever, just write it and comments. Like, do I want to discuss this sim with my mentor in the next call we have? Or yes, look at or internal controls here if it's an audit, or far look at the leases calculation or capital budgeting. I need to look at the present values, how it's computed. So I would say make that. I use this in every subject. Make a tracker. And suppose you got 80, 90 in few sims, you're doing great. Next, second time you're doing, ignore. You could already got 80, 90. Don't go back to that. Where you got 30, 40, focus on that. So this helped
Hmm.
me a lot, making a tracker. Also, what I personally did was I would make Word documents. So if I'd find extra information, I'd which was not in the review course, not in my textbook. Make Word documents and write that text down. Like sometimes you come
Mm,
across new
hmm.
things while you're studying, and those are also important. Sometimes those are tested as well. It's like a holistic tool, like you're creating tools for yourself that you pass. So I would say maintaining that Excel sheet was really helpful for me. Then you get to know what your progress is. So initially when I started studying, I used to struggle with, I'm 30, 40, why am I not getting to 80? So when you make this tracker, you're like, okay, now I'm improving, because you're focusing on what you're not good at, what you need to improve, rather than just doing the whole review course again, which is not to help you and is time consuming.
Right. Yeah, that's actually kind of goes along with a lot of the of what we say in Superfast CPAs, focusing on what is important. And with the MCQs, getting good at those and understanding the material. But then with the Sims, very similar to what you're saying there, you want to focus on the things that are difficult for you. Because if you can already figure out a sim or do a sim, then you don't need to practice it anymore, because specifically with Sims, they're going to be completely different on exam day. You have no idea what you're going to be seeing. So you need to
Yeah.
be good at figuring out how to work your way through a sim and figuring out how to tackle difficult subjects, the things that are hard for you. Um, so I like that you said that. So you had a tracker for your sims, and you would like keep track of how you did on a certain subject or a certain sim. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And so did you, and was this an idea that you had, or because I do want to ask you about your mentors, was that an idea that your mentor came up with?
Yeah, my mentor came up with that idea, and
Hmm.
when I started my first subject, he told me do this, because I told him I'm drowning, like I'm not understanding the challenges. There's so much information. You're like, what should I focus on, and how do I improve in a way that I pass? So
Hmm.
he told me about this making a tracker thing, and for MCQs, I did not make a tracker, but
Hmm.
yes, I think flagging questions while you go and solve them is helpful. And even for MCQs, I made like a Word document uh, where I'd write down extra things. And
Right.
also, like Nate said, I'd make like, I would say like 10 pages, like just very, very important things that writing in your own words, or even like one thing Nate said in the video, if you're struggling in something, try to understand it, do mentoring, and then try to write it down in your own words,
Hmm.
and then you get to know, do I even understand, or is the
Yeah.
mentor just explaining it to me again and again and I'm not getting it? That happens a lot when you're studying. So I think like writing in your own words, that also helps, because a lot of people struggle with MCQs, some people struggle with sims. So it's like different, depends on the person.
Right. And so I want to ask you a bit more about your mentor. So what uh what was that like? Is that somebody that you like paid for, or somebody that you've found to kind of like talk through the process? Like what uh was it a tutor? Like I'm just curious what that was like.
So in my review course, we would have like Google Meet calls, and there would be like three or four. They were the same people who taught you on your webinars. Like we'd have
Okay.
Zoom calls, like how you and me are having. They would share their screen, go through the concepts, do a few MCQs and simulations with us, not all. And if after that we study on our own. So
Hmm.
that was our process. And then if we were stuck on a sim or an MCQ, we would have like these, yes, it was paid. We would, we on our review course, we could schedule calls with our mentors, and then we'd connect on Google Meet. So we'd get like maybe 15 minutes. Sometimes you want half an hour, you need more time. So like suppose you and me, I'd schedule a call with you like 3 p.m., 3 to
Hmm.
3:15. Then I'd connect with you. I'd ask you to guide me to understand the concepts and also how to prepare. So these are
Hmm.
people who are qualified CPAs. So I would say connecting with them is very important. It's a very big tool that helped me pass.
Okay, so they would like walk through some problems with you and kind of give you additional strategies on how to pass and things like that. And at what did you have that from the start of your process, or was there a certain point where you felt like that was necessary
I had it from the start
from
because
the
it
start?
was
Okay.
there, yeah, in our
Okay.
review course. But I started using it, I think, more effectively when I when I changed my strategy, when I started re-reviewing, when I started looking at mini quizzes, audio notes, preparing a tracker,
Mm,
understanding where I'm lacking. And so it also depends how you use it. So I think
right.
this is because the thing is, in CPA, nobody tells you how to prepare, which is why
Yeah.
I have listened to, by the way, a lot of podcasts of uh, super fast CPA. It was like my dream to like I used to imagine one day I'll be on the podcast. So I'm very happy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So with the podcast, so you were saying that you listened to a whole bunch of different podcasts, and what what was helpful from that? Because you were like, I would love to be on the podcast someday, so I'm glad that you're on here today. So what was motivating about that? What was helpful about listening to the podcast?
I like how people share their challenges here because I don't know how the cultures in US are. I've never been, but at least in India, people don't talk about challenges. It's like
Hmm.
an Asian thing, right? Like they just want to share the good things of their life. I think now in social media, that's the case everywhere. So I like that in the podcast, people talk about their challenges,
Hmm.
their life circumstances. Sometimes things happen, they come in the way, why they can't pass, or like nobody comes and asks why, how did you go through this mentally, how did you overcome this hurdle. So I think that way the podcast is helpful. And I also feel like I really liked how a lot of people talked about failing. A lot of times people don't talk about failing. So when I would listen to the podcast, like some people would say that like I couldn't pass far, I gave it tries, and this happened and that happened. So I really like that about the podcast. Like you, it's really good because this helps with your mental health a lot, especially when you do CPA, and then if you failed once and you hear about other people failing, it really like it's like okay, I can do it. It's just that
Hmm.
maybe it'll be next time. So it's motivating that way.
Right. So you liked that, we just talked about like the real process, and talked about the failures, the successes, everything all together. Okay. So
Hmm.
I find that helpful too. Like I'm the kind of person just in life that I don't like uh there's a saying in the US, like beating around the bush. I don't like uh being fake. I like things to be
Hmm.
real and to be uh actually helpful and actually useful. So it's good to hear that that kind of like resonated with you. Uh and when so you passed the CPA in June, right? You just fairly
Hmm.
finished in June. Uh
Hmm.
well, how did that feel? I mean, because you had been you'd been kind of studying and things for like almost a year and a half or something like that.
Hmm.
Uh, how did
Yeah.
that feel when you finished?
I felt relief. Like I realized how much negativity I had in my mind because, like I told you, like I was always not sure, and I've become more confident. I think people look at you differently, and you look at yourself differently. You
Hmm.
like you don't need to tell anybody when you go out there what you can do. It's like, yeah, you're a CPA, like you know it. So I think it makes you confident, and yeah, like I've honestly relief. I'm
Yeah.
still relieved. I don't have
Yes.
to study.
You don't
Yeah.
have to do it ever again. Uh,
Mm,
and just curious, like probably not, but does
mm.
this make you feel like you would ever want to do the chartered accountancy again, or do you feel like CPA is like you can use that instead of chartered accountancy? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I always say never, but not right now. And right now
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to work. So I've been
Hmm.
connecting with people. I've been giving interviews. Like I want to get practical experience more and
Right.
work. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that makes
Actually,
sense.
after doing CPA, I feel like I can do more. Like I feel like I've become more confident. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It definitely boosts your confidence, like you were saying. I definitely felt like that.
Mm,
I felt like I could do anything after I had finished the CPA exam. I'm like, I could just anything I want to learn, anything I want to do, I could just
mm,
set aside some time in the morning and I could do anything. Uh, I love that feeling. And have you done
mm.
anything to celebrate or is there anything that you've done after passing to kind of like congratulate yourself?
Not really, but I'm thinking of taking a vacation. So maybe
That,
that.
yes, I think you
Mm.
should. You should definitely should.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and actually, I haven't asked this question in a while, but did you have any exam day traditions, like things that you did every time you took the exam, or did you wear the same shirt? I'm just curious if you had anything like that.
So one thing that Nate said, coming back to the pro course videos, actually talking to you, I'm realizing how much I took away from the pro course videos.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Uh, what Nate said is in his video is that when you, like, suppose you're giving the exam tomorrow or day after, it's like 48 hours. He told us to make a kind of like, when we talk about those really short notes in your own words.
Mm,
So just about to give the exam, right? Don't go to your review course. Don't look at new material. Whatever you know, you know. If you don't feel prepared, it's fine. Just roll with it. Don't
mhm,
put new information in your mind just before the exam. So in his video, Nate said that 48 hours before you have to do, I don't remember the exact word. I think it was
Cram session.
48 yeah, cram session. So that's what I followed that. I would only look at my notes. Like tomorrow's my
Hmm.
exam, today I'm just looking at the things I've written, the things I've seen before, the things it's nothing new. Yes, like when you look at it, you should get confidence and you should get like a comfort level, like, yeah, I am ready for the exam. I'm going to go
Mm,
and give it. A lot of people try to do like this last minute revision and get overwhelmed and stressed. Whatever
mm,
you've prepared, you're good to go. Like you kind of, I don't know if this will become religious, but you kind of have to have some faith in God also. Like, yes, just now I've done. Now I'll just go and give the exam.
mhm.
So that's one more
Yeah.
thing I took away from Nate's video. 48 hours before the exam, I'd only look at things I have written or like formulas or top of the mind things that
Mm,
I need to remember for the exam. And that was my exam day tradition. No new material. And the day of the exam, I usually used to do so we have two slots in India, 8 a.m. or 12 noon.
mm,
So that day morning, I'd never like revise. I just like go and give it. That's it. So I think
mhm.
not putting too much new information and being very calm and being like when you're going there, being fully present and not overthinking at that
Right.
moment is very important. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that as far as like the like just try to be there. Like once you've prepared, just give it your best shot and do the very best you can. Um,
Mm.
I like a lot of the things that you've said with that. And I mean, honestly, you've given some fantastic tips throughout
Thank
this
you.
call. And
Mm.
I kind of want to, I think that we can start kind of wrapping up, especially because we had that interruption in the middle where we lost the call. So I don't want to keep you too much later because I think it's probably almost like 11 o'clock or past 11 for you. Um,
Mm.
what what would be your top two or three tips that you would give to somebody who's still going through the CPA exam to help them through this?
I would say that have a lot of different resources. Like your review course is one. I use the Superfast CPA mini quizzes and audio notes. And I would say for people who are giving the exam in this year or next year or planning to do CPA, now that there is bar subject, BAR, I would give a lot of emphasis to tech. Whatever is tech
Mm.
related, we can't escape tech. We need to embrace it. I know finance people are like, I don't understand. Forget about it. Just try to pass the exam. I tell you one thing I did, go to Investopedia, search for or do a Google search, but go for credible sources. Try to understand what is this term. Not very deeply, but I would say embrace tech. It's very important. Like
Mhm.
if you're giving BAR subject, bar as they call it here, I don't know, that
Yeah.
you need to focus on. It's important.
Mhm.
It's like we need to make it like it's now like fintech. It's not just finance. So focus on that. And I also personally, I used a lot of YouTube while preparing. So I also use Professor Farhat, Farhat. So he has like these really concise 5-10 minute videos. So make sure that when you're doing your self research, don't go too deep into it, just enough for passing the exam. But
Mhm. Mhm.
embrace tech. Try and a lot of people like I used to actually speak to my mentors, like, tell me when do we use this in tech? Why do we use this? So try to like embrace it, like try to
Mhm.
accept it. A lot of finance people are like, I'm gonna do costing or I'm going to do accounting. Now you can't be like that. Like in today's time, I don't think that works. So this is important. This is what I would say people doing CPA now or in future should focus on.
Okay. So focus,
Yeah.
I mean, embrace having tech and also like having that be a part of the exam. Oh, and have lots of different resources, like you were saying, right? Um,
Hmm.
so I mean, yeah, you've had some fantastic advice and tips, and thank you so much for being on the call today. I'm glad that you were excited to be on the call, that you had been like wanting to be on the podcast. So that's awesome that we were able to have you do that today. Uh, yeah, thank you for sharing your story. Congrats on being done.
Thank you so much. It's my dream come true.
All right, that was the end of the interview with Shailja, and sorry about that weird connection issue we had. You probably didn't really hear it, but we had to switch from Riverside to Zoom, but in the end, it still worked out, and I think you'll still be able to hear everything that we talked about. I think it was an awesome interview with Shailja, and she was able to give a lot of great tips and advice for how to stay true to yourself, how to stay confident, not let yourself get overwhelmed by the thoughts of, I can't do this, or there's no way that I'll ever be able to pass these exams. She was able to overcome those, and I hope that by listening to this episode, you were able to think of some ways that you can implement that in your own life so that you can overcome any mental difficulties you're having with the CPA exams specifically so that you can start passing them. Because that is something that happens frequently where somebody will have the knowledge or the know-how, but they struggle with believing that they can do it. And a lot of times having that confidence can change the results because you are more confident in the answers you're giving. You second guess yourself less. So again, I hope this episode was helpful. Now, before you go, make sure you check out our Superfast CPA training webinar on superfastcpa.com. Again, it's 1 hour, it is free, and we will teach you the key ingredients to passing the CPA exam. After that, make sure you check out becoming a Superfast CPA Pro member. Now, if you liked this episode, make sure to like it and leave a comment in the YouTube video or leave a rating in your favorite podcast app. Thank you for watching or listening, and we will see you in the next episode.